say ya, come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever, getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we coming. Yeah, you coming, yeah. We coming. When the year is been checking you again, guys, we coming.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to say welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. And the Bottom Line Liberia is a program that brings you information that you need and discusses the issues in Liberia from top to bottom. And we also give our opinions as panelists on the show. And so tonight we like to say welcome if you're joining us. For the first time tonight, we want to welcome you and say, let this place be your home. Make it the site that you always visit. Paul, the Lord Triple is with me tonight. Of course, we are in different parts of the world, as usual. So Paul is there, in the UK, and I am here in Norway. And Paul, let me say welcome to you. Today is the 17th of March, and it's going so fast.
Good evening, Linford. Good evening. It's good to be back on the Bottom Line, Liberia. Yeah, you're right. And I would say today is Friday. Usually people can say thank God it's Friday. And it's good to be here. And the year going fast. Pretty soon we'll be talking about Christmas.
And guess what? I even forgot that today was Friday, Well, somebody said it seems as though weekends were made in China. They don't last. You see Friday and the next thing that Monday. So weekend that Chinese made. But we want to say welcome to you. Those of you in the viewing audience. All you need to do to help us make this show a success is to help us share the link to your contacts so that we all can make a part of the show. And Paul is going to take us through with the music he will select, probably Takunche or one of those music that that make the headline for us. So then while the music is playing, we'll be sharing the show, and we ask you, our viewers, to help us to share the show. When we come back, we go directly into our discussions. Paul?
Yeah, thank you, Linford. I think we'll ask our viewers to share the show. It will be great while we come with Takunche, and then we can flow. So
okay, and just to add a little bit, tonight is going to be rather a short edition of the program, but let's see how it looks, how it plays up. Probably will go beyond the time that we've set. So just stick around with us and let's have a good show together.
Okay.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not know. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
And so there we go. Let's officially welcome all of you. Those of you joining us for the first time. This is the Borderline Liberia, and this is the program that brings you information as they unfold. And so tonight, Paul, the Lord Chiripe, and I will be here to inform you, and we'll be discussing something that almost everybody knows. You know, as we live now, especially in Liberia, it's no more like it used to be, where information was secret. The moment something happens somewhere, whether in West Point, people in Point 4 will get to know it right away because of what the technological advancement that we around the world, the whole world is experiencing. So unless it is my secret or it's Paul's secret, then we can say it's a breaking news. But once it's something that has happened, other people, they say true man secret, not secret. So a lot of people have heard this thing. And it all has to do with the American delegation that is in Liberia. And that delegation comes from the anti-corruption, the global anti-corruption bureau, so to speak, and they are in Liberia according to information that we are gathering to explore ways or opportunities to impose more sanctions on corrupt government officials in Liberia. So it's no secret that when this group leaves, there are going to be some reactions that we don't know yet for sure, but as it is no secret. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. And the next one we'll be talking about, Paul, tonight is the U.S. ambassador McCarthy. He made certain statement, pointing accusing fingers at diaspora Liberians, trying to do things or say things to undermine the Weah administration. And so we will be also looking at it, and what we'll be discussing about these things will be our own analysis and our own input as how we see it and how we understand it and the implications. So whatever, we'll make that disclaimer first, okay, that we are not authorities on these issues that we'll be discussing tonight. But we are Liberians, and everything about Liberia, good or bad, affects us somehow. So, Paul, I guess you have listened or you have watched or some podcast somewhere or some video somewhere, or you have seen some newspaper somewhere that talked about the arrival of this delegation in Liberia. And this delegation, purposely, they are in Liberia to explore ways or to find information, to gather some information and facts, so that if they will be imposing sanctions, that their sanctions will be based on those facts that they are gathering. And so, like I said, it's no closed secret. Okay, it's open. So, have you by any chance seen any information on that?
Good evening, Linford. Good evening to our viewers. Before I talk about that, I just want to tell those who are following us, welcome to the Bottom Line. Please share the show. We also on the online radio, the Bottom Line Radio, that you can download our app. We're also on MyTuning, and we are here. Yes, I came across a newspaper yesterday. Actually, was the Front Page Africa that spoke about it. There's headline there regards to the visit of those key officials that have gone to Liberia, two key players. Why are they keep visiting Liberia? This is not the first time. So when the head of that anti-corruption head in America, the secretary visited Liberia a few months ago. Now there's another group. So why are they keep sniffing around Liberia? You have when you see dogs somewhere where keeps sniffing like that, it means somewhere burning. That's why they keep. So that's yeah. So let me share this little newspaper clip. Maybe it might help. That was the issue you're talking about, and that
Yeah.
front reporter say sanction is on the table. So these guys are doing an investigation in Liberia, and then at the top of that headline, also see the ambassador McCarthy is also there, accusing Liberians in the diaspora of saying things to, I don't know, but the information he gave, he should have been balanced with that. If it's something we'll discuss later. So yes, so I read the situation. This is what is happening. And if sanction is on the table, I want it. They can do it now. They shouldn't wait until election time or after election.
Well, they are carrying out a survey. So who knows? It is in their purview to, based on what they will see, based on what they will find, it's in their purview to do what they will have to do. But the thing that I am gathering from the visit of those two key officials of the anti-corruption group that are visiting Liberia now is that, like you mentioned earlier on, there was the head of that particular group was in Liberia a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So why is it there's a follow-up? Why is it that they are sending another group of people? So I will tell you one thing. This is how these people work, the Americans. Because they know. Let me tell you about something about Americans. Americans, they believe in lawsuit too much. That if you play with my name illegally and you do something to tarnish my reputation, I can go after you too. So in order for them to be able to take any action, they have to thoroughly investigate. They have to do all of their investigations, make sure they counter check, and make sure that at least they got some facts that will be able to back them should they be taken to court. So if this lady came to Liberia a couple of months ago, probably she discovered something, and to verify that, she has to send 2 key people again. And trust me, those people are not just come, not just 2 people you see whose picture we saw on the paper. There are other smaller people, even on the grounds in Liberia. There are people even within the government that these people will plant. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but I read a book a long time ago about how these people operate. And so based on that book, every time I see they're doing something, I always make sure to compare to that book and analyze, because I know America, they have created for them this very big name as the world police. So if you are the world police, like we always say, if you come to equity, you should come with clean hands. If you are the world police, you've claimed that you are the world police. If you are policing the world, you should be able to set standards that other people will follow. So when they are doing these things, they don't just do it haphazardly, like based on accusation or John Brown said the person corrupt. No. So that this lady was in Liberia a couple of months ago, and right after that, another 2 group of people, or let's say a group of 2 people, is in Liberia now. So it means that, like you said before, something is there. As we usually say in Liberia, wherever there is smoke, even if it is not big fire, there is a little spark. So I want to believe that there is something that these people see or know that we don't know, and they want to verify it. See, and the good thing here is that, they will not sit far off and make their accusation. They will be on the ground. And like I told you, Paul, trust me, these people got people on the ground. Small, no, the American will not just fly from where American can sit down here and be asking people. Well, there are key people who told them, say, come, we'll get the facts.
Linford, the American embassy all over the world.
Right.
Who works in the embassy? Most people that work in the embassy, they are CIA.
Of course.
So they don't just send them, they get the person, oh, they are diplomatic people and all that, but majority of people that work in the embassy, they are spies. In every country that they send, they are CIA. We all know that. So they on the ground, they live there, they see what's happening. So they cannot visit that is happening. Remember the sanction that they put on Maggie, Serino Sifa, and Bill Traore. Those key elements, those key people, especially Nathaniel McGee, right, who work directly in the president's office, if they can sanction him, and these people going back, they're looking for some. I mean, if I work with you, you my boss, they can't put sanction on me and left you out.
Normally we always biting our tongues our tongue on this thing, but it's sort of good to let it out of the bed. I don't know for sure, but I know President Weah will not get off the hook. Probably, and it's just my own assumption. Probably, and again, all disclaimers. What we say on this show are not fights, and they are not forced either. They're just how we feel. And nobody can go inside my heart here except God. But nobody can go inside my heart and say, no, don't say this or say this. Because what I say is what my heart tells me. It may not be right. Maybe it's snowing outside, it's cold, but my heart says go outside. Okay? So is it right to go in the cold? No, but that's it. So I personally believe, and not a bottom line Liberia, me, I believe that President Weah will not get off this hook. Probably not when he is president. And you know why? You know why I think so? Is that when he is president and they sanction him, automatically they limit his functions as president. Even we, the citizen, will not respect him anymore. When he's taking certain decisions, oh, my man, you're under sanction. I mean, what happened to Maggie? Look at the case of Maggie and other people. Okay. So I think these people
Linford,
are just, yeah, they are just
Lin-
dragging their feet until
Linford,
after, yeah.
do you know the country we come from called Liberia?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is joke. Now, when a little man steals somebody donor on the street, they will
No,
catch that little
beating.
man and beat him mercifully to death. Now, when a big guy steal, they give it a big English word called corrupt,
Investment.
embezzlement. The men are raw. Raw is raw. And then the same people will come and say, you steal, we'll carry you. So something might be extremely wrong with us in Liberia, we Liberians. You see, you can be the one who stole the color, but the one who steal the big one, you can shield him in a way and praise him. So something wrong with us Liberians.
And I think that's why the Americans are coming. You know, I get confused. It's true that, I mean, it may not be true, but it seems as though there is something wrong with us when you say this, because we, the Americans, if we can see that in our own country, then people come from way on the other side to come act on our behalf. Things that we, even the Constitution gave us the power to do, but we fail to do it. And we wait for people to come from people we ain't got no, I mean, no American is sleeping hungry because of Liberia. No American getting sick and dying because of, like, you see, but we are getting sick and dying. We are hungry. Our children are in school. In America, all the children have right to go to school free. Okay. But here in Liberia, we short of these things, but we can't act. So we wait for people from way on the other side to come act on our behalf. You see,
But you know why the people acting on your behalf?
yeah.
Because it's
No,
the people money, they send their
yes,
money there. And
yes.
then the money going into somebody account of media. And they're
Okay,
angry. Oh, we send the
okay.
money for the people.
So I came across somewhere some discussion where people were having this discussion. So should we say the people who giving these corrupt officials money over and over and over? And I know they're not giving any money directly to say this money is for you people, or but it's for the government. They send this money because they see the needs of the country. They see, for instance, in the healthcare sector, you see that it's almost nothing. It's zero. So these American people or other donors, out of sympathy for the sick and dying people of the country, they say, look, let's help them. Come for so amount. Then when they send that money, the people who are supposed to be responsible for it, they will take it and put it in their pocket. So should we say that these people should stop giving support to the needed areas in Liberia? And if they do that simply because somebody is stealing it, what happened to the rest of the people?
But this is what the sanction comes about. We send our money, that money meant for hospital. Stop stealing our money. So these guys, they are bad actors, we sanction them. So what in a normal country, Liberia is not a normal country. In a normal country,
Hmm.
those kind of people will go to court to have a day in court to exonerate themselves from the allegation that were brought against them.
And who you think should take them to the court?
The government.
Okay, but it's the same government that
The
is
government
corrupt.
that said, oh, you can resign because there's somebody came and said you stole. You've been stealing from us, so resign. They're telling you that you've been stealing. So I'll work for you, Linford, and then somebody, King Jamal, went say, oh, Linford, Paul been stealing from you. You the one will say, wait a minute, you check and say, if he been stealing, let me see where he been stealing.
Yeah,
But the fact is, you tell me, say, Paul, please don't kind of work again
yeah.
because
That
this
means
allegation,
you've been stealing. So you just
he
go
been
sit down
stealing.
home.
So we need to find out where he been stealing from us.
Hmm.
So they told them that these guys been stealing their roles. And then they told them to step aside. The next thing, the same people that have been stealing, running to be senators. And it's okay. That was a Liberia. It's not a normal country. In a normal country, that wouldn't have happened. these guys will have their day in court. They will be charged. If they found guilty, they will face the weight of what they stole. If not, if they not guilty, they go free and go run. So that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is, and one of the things I want to talk about too in the discussion about this sanction, when we go to the ambassador, what he said about people, something the ambassador said too. He also stressed on corruption that the whole lecture was. He started with the people in the diaspora and he ended with corruption, that the corrupt people in this country. Corruption is almost like, how they call it, pandemic in Liberia, that even the little child are setting color there to steal. When you send him to buy something, he won't bring your change. So the whole country is so rotten corrupt. That's what he's telling us. So these people sniffing around Liberia, it's not for nothing. They're going for these guys that came to power. Thanks God to Joel Howard Taylor, who said, this is our time to steal. Y'all come and join the CDC so we can come and steal. This is our time. And we all know that they came to power to wreck the country. And this is what the ambassador is saying. Corruption, the stealing is as high. And people will say they kind of stealing. We never saw it at in town, even though time. That today, if you maybe some little cleaning supervisor, maybe are getting $30 a month, I start bidding $1 million house. And nobody will question you. Your salary can't afford you to build a mansion only in Liberia. You see? So that's why the American keep sniffing around the place about what these guys. And when Trump said there are more sanctions on the table, who are the next big fish they after? Because they call the big fish that work with George Weah directly. It went quiet. Will it be Samuel Twer, the next fish that they're going to catch? We don't know. Will it be Weah himself? Because they said it's corruption at the higher, they're stealing too much. They roll in Liberia, too many. Too much roll. So instead of beating the Zocos for stealing, the big people that are stealing, they're too much. So the American keep dancing, surfacing around Liberia that finding these corrupt people. So I hope that they gave us more names so we can see what these people been stealing from us.
But and sometimes these kind of discussions can also drag in other discussions or other topics. And then I want to think outside of the box, okay? And outside of this particular topic about the visit of the anti-corruption or body group in Liberia. But, it reminds me when Mr. Cummings says we cannot do things or continue to do the same thing and get different results. And then he also says, I come to the table with clean hands. I come not to steal from the Liberian people. And then people hate him for saying that. So does that mean that this you've got to be part of this thing to be accepted in the Liberian society? Because when Mr. Comey made that statement, people separated themselves from him. So it's like separating the sheep from the goats. You separate the sheep from the goats, and then all the goats go one side, then we know who is good. When Billy goes smelling, they will say, yeah, that good there on that side. Okay? So like I said, discussing some of these issues can drag in other things. So
Yeah.
and then you see that always the trend in Liberia now is, especially during this election, as we prepare for election, is that certain group of people are going together all the time. When they mention of the new coming, they say, oh no, that man, he say he Mr. Clean. It's a crime to say I'm clean. And
So-
indeed, when you are clean.
So Linford,
I mean,
we
this is
Liberians-
outside of the topic, but
Yeah.
we're just making analysis.
we Liberians, right? We like good people. Linford have been successful by the blessing of God. I will envy Linford for his blessing. That's how we behave in Liberia. We don't like successful people. The one who work extremely hard and manage to succeed, we envy them for nothing. So look at what our past leaders. I'm not going to go back to the two-wing party because they were in leadership for hundreds of years. So I'm not talking about them. From the Doe era to we are. Look at that group of people, right? What associate these people together? One common thing that is they have stealing at the highest level. And they gave it a big name, say corruption. They are thieves. Stealing is the norm of our people. So somebody come in and say, look, I don't need a dime because I am a Liberian and God bless me so much. I can take this country to another level. They get so angry because stealing is the way we live here. Why are you coming with clean hands to stop us from stealing? So they started running the propaganda. In fact, before you join us, go be number 2 to the old Tagoon, the mean stealing Tagoon, be number 2 to him. Yeah, he teach you how to steal. Then when he pass, then he can pass the baton over to you. And this is how we operate in Liberia. We want people to come with clean hands. We only want people that can steal. Take for example, majority of our millionaires in Liberia, how they became millionaires? From stealing from the people. Benana Ure that one. He's the richest man in Liberia. Why he made his money? By stealing from the people. You name it. Eddie Starler, Edwin Snow. The list go on by stealing from the people. If you Google now, say the richest people in Liberia, Joseph Numa Baka name on that list. The man I walked from Foya to Monrovia. How he became rich? By stealing from the people.
And then he also said that he's living on loan. So
exactly. So
how can Forbes list you as one of the richest people in a country in Liberia? Then you also tell the people, the same Liberian people that need to vote for you, that you are living on loan. So what will we believe?
See? So that's their con artists, in the early 90s, the children are going around and call the BMs. Those guys are no different from the BMs. They are crooks. And just follow all of them. And remember too, Joseph Juma Baka is a deacon in the church. Follow the pattern of all the crooks. They have something with God. They related to God. Just follow them. And my own senator, Monrovia County, that was the one. Before he said something, he quote the Bible. All of them just crooks, and they use the gospel. So these are all corner
by the way, you say the former VP is a deacon in the church, and he was in one church. I was sending you one picture. Check your WhatsApp, and and while the discussion goes on, probably to confirm your claim that he's a deacon, and I was saying this picture.
Well, it's a fact. It's not claim. It's a fact. He is a deacon in his church.
Okay, let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get this picture. Picture, where are you? But actually, truly speaking, Paul, the pattern in Liberia recent time is that people, check your WhatsApp. People have been hiding behind the scripture, the Bible, to do things. Where you see you got somebody would just wake up and say, "Well, I'm a pastor." They build church and people go there. People, even though God say, I think if not in the book of Hebrews, will be in the book of Romans, one of those books. Because I did think tank quiz in those books, and so I always mix all the scriptures. But God said, "I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion," meaning I go that mean will say Linford is going to hell or he's going to heaven. Though all Linford was bad man, but I can see reason to say, okay, he's going to heaven. Nobody can question him. Exactly. So God said, "I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." And so people have been hiding behind the gospel thing here and doing all kinds of things. So the woman was in church on I don't know if he received that stuff.
I got it.
Yeah, if you dare to put it up, at least.
Yeah, no, so go on, Flo. I'll put it up, Flo.
Yeah. So the old man was in church on Sunday, and the person standing by him, posted his picture. And I also posted it and made some. I didn't make any comment. I just said, 3 times. And people bombarding me. Why I say he said, I did not mention it. I just said, If you go to my Facebook, you see, I just said, They don't know why they for. But then they, but people, so, and then people will say, oh, let your comic and be second to them. What's so much about somebody going to be second to one person? So instead of kingdom or monarchy that will run it, that somebody that you will say, okay, Prince Charles will have to wait for Queen Elizabeth to die before he can be king. No. Okay, this is a democracy. Even me today, if I get money or if I had the means, I can get out and say I want to be president. So they'll say, okay, my man, you gotta wait. That means you're coming there be president first before you come. No. But our democracy has turned out to be the way it is, Paul, and like you said, Sonny, is inherently wrong with us. We don't see things as they should appear to be. We look at things from our own perspective. It's something mind-boggling, because when you see people who are supposed to be normal people, and most of the time, the people who argue these stupid things, sorry for the expression, there are people who are well educated. There are people, if somebody from the village will come and make a kind of argument, you can say, well, the person doesn't really know what he's talking. But you've been to school. At least you know how to turn the pages of books. You've been reading. You've been seeing examples. And then you come back and say things contrary to what you are expected to know. It beats my imagination to any extent.
Yeah, so before we bring up picture of this thing about the sanction about that's on the table with those corrupt people, those thieves. There's something I want our audience to listen to. Corruption as a whole, it actually breaks down society.
Right.
Because stealing is not a good thing. I mean, if you in your parent house they put money down that they meant to use that money for food, and when you took part of that money, it means everybody in the house will not eat. That's what corruption does. So I want us to look at something here, and so we can look for our audience to see why we're talking on this, why sanction is looming in Liberia is there for a purpose. You see, so if you can bear with me, Linford, let me retrieve this little thing
Sure.
and put it up. It will be good to then we can draw something from it and and talk. So go continue. Let me look for this.
Okay, so folks, we expect, we don't know for sure, but this group from the anti-corruption, I don't know whether it's a bureau or what it is in America. They are in Liberia. A couple of months ago, the head of that group was in Liberia, that lady. And then now we got a man and a lady also in Liberia from that particular group. And they are key people according to information that we're getting. The question is, why? No, don't put it in Liberia. Why they fasting on Liberia? What they see there? So I think there is something that they know that we don't know. And like we discussed earlier on, these people, America, they do not just take action if they ain't got any ground. So I'm sure that there is something that these people see that they know that they want to verify before. And the report is that they are exploring possibility or opportunities. That's the exact word to use. Exploring opportunities to impose more sanctions. So you mean the people move from our country to come here in our country to check? So it's scary. It is scary.
It is scary. So let me flow with this one here, and we want our audience to have a say in this. Why corruption is so bad for our country. So I'm going to roll this.
Is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society. We all lose when corruption is rampant. Those who participate in corruption have chosen evil over good, lies over truth, and personal gain over well-being of all. To be corrupt means to be rotten. When meat is corrupt, it's rotten and it stinks. Rotten meat can't be eaten. When a person is corrupt, he's rotten and unfit for a place in the community. A corrupt person should be jailed in order to protect society from the vile deeds of the corrupt person. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified, intimidated, marginalized, and ridiculed. These kind of people who stand up against corruption will often feel alone, as if they are the problem instead of the solution. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it. Africa needs to raise up a new generation of corrupt-free young people who together and in support of one another build a beautiful new corrupt-free Africa. We need a new generation of young people to fill the places of leadership who think differently and are motivated not by greed, but a genuine sense of servanthood to the people of our community. The church exists to call the nation back to righteousness. We are here to lift the standard of good that God requires for prosperity and health to flourish across the land. The Bible says, "Woe to those who acquit the guilty for a bribe, but deny justice to the innocent. Therefore, as tongues of fire lick up straw, and as dry grass sinks down in the flames, so their roots will decay and their flowers blow away like dust, for they have rejected the law of the Lord Almighty." We all need to be reminded that from time to time, God has created everything. Therefore, he owns everything. He is the final authority over everything, and he has the right to determine how everything should be managed and used. We own nothing. What we have, we only manage on God's behalf. We need to be reminded that God, the righteous judge, requires every one of us on a day he is appointed to stand before him and to give an account for what we did with his property, with the positions and the people that he entrusted into our hands. God, the righteous judge, will act and decide justly. He will not forever allow the corrupt to thrive and dominate the poor by their evil and corruption. Oh, young Ugandan, you who hold the future of this nation in your hand, the most important message that I can give you today in this anti-corruption week is this: never pay a bribe and never demand one.
Wow.
It was breathtaking, and I held my breath for a while. And I took a lot of things away from what this gentleman in there, and I think he's a pastor, and so he was speaking within the context of moral equivalence. You heard all of what he outlined. Corruption is dangerous. Corruption takes away the rights of other people. Corruption it makes the system rotting. And if nobody wants to eat a rotting meat, and he made a comparison with rotting meat. Okay, so if you look at Liberia in that context, you will see that he was talking to the people of Uganda, right? But it appears like he was standing right on Broad Street and talking to Liberians, because everything he described happens in Liberia. Everything that man describes is clear and visible in Liberia, in our society. Yeah. So I don't know what you took from there.
Well, this is what I said earlier. Corruption kills the society. Corruption is broad daylight stealing. It does not make the society to prosper. And people who are corrupt, they go after other people who come say, no, this is not the way to be. They go after you. And we can see it in our own eyes in Liberia, our naked eyes. The auditors that were slaughtered because they had something on people who stole from us. And they call it corruption. Nathaniel McGee was sanctioned for stealing, corruption. Bill Traore, corruption. Serena Sifa, corruption. These are all thieves. And this is what he's saying. Corruption killed a nation. And it happened in our eyes. And what happened? Nothing. They got away with it. Nothing going to happen. Corruption in our own eyes. When the president took over, he paid $149 condominiums. The thing that he could not do when he was $4, right in our eyes, looking at it. The children can say, "Kolo, kolo." If you go on the old road today, see the little man that just building mansion upon mansion. Samara Wolokodi. He didn't have that. He became government official. He started building. Corruption. Oh, they say he businessman. He didn't build those things until he came into government. Naked eyes, it happening. So this is why he's talking about the young people of Africa should rise up. And what he's saying, the young people, if you look at the whole continent, there's a youthful population. And this come back, the reason why I decided to play this come back to what we're seeing earlier, were people who say communism will go number 2 to somebody who been there since the 1950s. And I'll give some comparison here. You remember Donald Trump, no matter what people like or didn't like him, honor his stewardship. He made friends with North Korea. He and Putin, they were on a friendly level, right? Guess what happened when they brought Joe Biden back? Joe Biden he grew up in the Cold War. So all Joe Biden knows is the East against the West. It's the same attitude he brought back today. We have war in Europe. But if you are putting young person in there, young people don't want war. So in Liberia, they're telling us that this guy who worked from 1950s, coming my God number 2 to him to learn how to steal like every one of them. Then he can become a good person in Liberia. So in reality, the old people and those who back in there, they say, look, they don't want new ideas. They want the same old thing to continue happening. So this is
No,
where we are.
but the thing in our situation in Liberia with this unity party and the people who support them, it's a glaring thing. These people are not supporting this woman. No, tell me, this is a party that has smart people, they have been ruling before. They got people who were in the past government that can govern, but they take one aged old man who is tired. Everybody, look, when we talk about this thing, people get mad. Age is for everybody. When we were born, I was born in the 60s. So yeah, I'm getting old. So those things that I used to do actively, I cannot do them anymore. It's automatic. The same way our parents were, okay? That you will see your own father sitting there and say, oh, bring water for me. You carry the glass, he's shaking, he can't even hold it. So this is automatic. You cannot beat it. There is no way you can beat anything about age. You can't twist it. The white man who can make you well when you say they have tried to see if they can make human being to be a new brand. They can't make it. So this is sanctioned by God. Now, when you talk, then some of them jump out, they say, okay, you get Museveni in power, he's this, you got the president of this other country, this, you got, what they got in, the one that just left Nigeria. Then they put the other old one there. Those people, how did they get old as leaders? Take for Museveni. Museveni was not old when they elected him. He's been there more than 40 years. He was young. Okay? So most of the people that you name, making your comparison, there are people who power met them in, old age met them in power. They did not go to power because they were old. No. And
this is what I've seen Lee for. I gave example of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
This guy from the Cold War Iraq. The moment he became president, what happened? He gone back to the same Cold War. Today, Russia and Ukraine. Why they doing the West supplying arms to Ukraine and innocent people dying over there? But new ideas will not go back to the Cold War. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
but
if you bring somebody,
you are not saying the same thing, Paul. Yeah. The point I'm making is that when you talk about our situation in Liberia, then people bring in other countries. They naming people like Museveni, they naming other old leaders around the world. And some of those people were not old when he elected them. Power, they were in power and they remained there and got old. They didn't want look at Mugabe, for example, that he couldn't even stand, but still he wanted to wield power.
Then Paul Biya, Cameroon.
Yeah. Okay. These are names that we heard when we were in elementary school.
Yeah.
Okay. They were there. We graduated from elementary. We went to high school, from college, and we are all old men. And so they stayed there. They want to die there. So then you look at yourself, you want to make the same mistake. But when you talk, people say, oh, when something happens, they say, let the young people go. The old man will not go. The old man who they say he's supposed to be, anything happens, they say, let the young people go. So I'm looking up to that time where when war come or anything happen in the country, let it take all the old people who've been in government for years, they put them, get them, go, let them go fight.
Oh, yes.
And leave the young people who, yes, sir, young people don't know how to do anything. Let the old people get all of them go, let them go fight. They'll say, no, let the young people go. You see? So with that kind of mentality, will always be behind. I agree. I respect age because myself, I'm getting old. I respect age. Okay?
But Linford,
there's certain things that I just can't do when I'm old.
Linford, it's left. It's written, right, in the Holy Book.
Mm-hmm.
Once a man, twice a child.
Yeah.
That's when you grow up as a baby, you know your skin here. This place, you see, it can be thick.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, it starts reducing. It starts getting rumper, right? Mm-hmm. So that means if you're playing football at the age of 16, you can run the whole day. Even your parents call you to come eat, you still won't go run. The moment you reach 30, that different game. The thing you used to do 16, you can't do it at 30, right? So you gave way to the other children now.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's
So
how
me
life,
and you now, we're talking about going into retirement.
this is
That
how
means
life goes.
we pay
See,
our dues. But you cannot leave retirement and then come and say, oh, I want to suppress the young people. And that's what I got problem with.
see, so age is something automatic. And you get a pregnancy. They say, oh, you're looking pregnant. You say, no, I'm not pregnant. Okay, wait. And I'm going back, it coming in from. So age, you know, I play football for my country here, in the country where I live in. And so now when I'm driving past the football field, I see the children, they playing. I understand a lot. I say, yeah, they got the team we did 20 years ago, the children doing it here. You know, so I kept, if I run, in fact, right now as I'm sitting, I press my knee, I get pain in my knee when I wake up from when I on the wall. So I would say I played football here before for complete 4 years. I'm gonna go stay on the football field to play again because I've been playing football here. I know it. No, this is not how life works. Life is like a stage. People performing on the stage. When you get on that stage, you are in the mode to perform. You do what you can do. When your time is finished, you move. Let the other people come, or else. I don't know. I don't know how many generations we got. Maybe 1,000 generations from the time the world was made. So if our 1,000 generation people were still here, you think we'll have chance? No, we don't have chance. So God made it in a way that you perform. When you perform, what you're leaving behind is that legacy, that example that you set for your succeeding generations to come and follow and look at your legacy and say, yeah, this is what this person did, and this is what I want to do, or I can do better than this. Or else you and our ancestors will say be doing electronic together, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I think we let that wrote something. Let me just see if we can pull it up.
Go through the viewers.
Yeah, he said that's why Africa is going nowhere. I have lived in the UK for 30 years and I have been over I've seen over 6 prime ministers come and go. I came to Europe in 1999, and when I came, the other prime minister that was here, I didn't know, but the guy before David Cameron, who was he?
Oh, before David Cameron in
Yeah.
the UK, that was Golden Brown.
Okay, yeah, Gordon Brown, fine. Gordon Brown was there. Then later on, David Cameron came. After David Cameron, this lady, the tall woman,
Theresa May,
and then
Boris Johnson.
Boris, the shortest thing, man. And
Boris not the shorter is the woman, Liz Truss.
Liz Truss, yeah.
She lasted for 45 days.
Yeah, right after Boris. You see,
and then Golden Brown too. Golden Brown, right after that was Golden Brown, then Cameron. So that is right. Yeah.
So can you imagine? But in Liberia, count 30 years. Within 30 years time, I was 6. So in Liberia, count 30 years. How many people we have seen come and go? In fact,
before you go further, the finance minister here, the chancellor, the Ghanaian, he lasted for 30 days in office because he performed poorly. But Samuel Tuwe been doing well. He there for 6 years. If we are win, he'll go for another 12 years. Everlasting finance minister.
And then that would be the legacies that what Bonnie Tuwe we said and say when Tuwe want to do anything, people say, yeah, they may whatever a while. 6 years, 12 years. You see it? So tell me, this kind of experience is set the one that you want. There was somebody was arguing somewhere who, you can't compare government experience with corporate experience. I look at the guy for long, I could see the big ignorance written in his face. Why? You talk about government. This is the worst place that you will ever come from with your CV to go anywhere to post of government all over the world. Government all over the world. That's why even when one government comes, the possibility of the new government removing all the old people is high. Okay, because government job is not anything stable, it's not professional job. You can take any time they can hire it based on your connection, especially like in Liberia, like what we are doing now. You can grab anybody from the street if you know that you put it anywhere. So then when the next government comes, if that government is serious about competence, they'll draft everybody out. I told the person, I said, no, let me tell you, this whole Cummings was in corporate America. Coca-Cola was already said when he went there. Yes, I agree. Coca-Cola was said when Cummings went there. Fine. So if Cummings was not disqualified, how did he come from down to go up? One question for you to answer. He couldn't answer it. Oh, because they were promoting him. Fine. How do you get promotion? You get promotion when you are doing well. Then the next question I'm asking, say you say Coca-Cola was already functioning. It's a functional thing. But if you put somebody there who is a bad manager, what will happen to that Coca-Cola? It will break down, right? You say, yeah, so good. But then, during Cummins' administration, the Coca-Cola break down? No, but people then, the assistants, I say, you see, you don't think. When you say things, you should think. So whether the system, no company in the world is having where it's set that nothing can change. Okay, so no matter how good is that company, if you carry a bad manager, they will break it down. Or two things they will do. They'll either break it down. In fact, three things: break it down, or leave it at the stage that they made it and it can be there. It can progress. It can go down, or elevate it. So Cummins did, all of that.
Why were you giving yourself headache to explain to that young man?
No, some of them need education.
Because the thing is, you see why it's a Liberia is so behind and everything must be government. This is some of the reason. In every corporate environment, they base on your performance. So because they do it by year, before the end of the year, your manager and you go through your appraisal of what you have done, what you have achieved. If you below that standard, you're gone. So you live in white male country, I live in white male country, right? Go look for cleaning job as a cleaning, to even be cleaning supervisor. That little to be cleaning supervisor, how difficult it is. And for you to leave from the bottom to go at the top and they see, oh, the place of structure, because they just don't get it. That's the problem in Liberia. If you listen to some of our pundits around, say, oh, they work for government, you get government experience. The government experience in Liberia, it means stealing for the white men call it corruption. You gotta know how to steal. That's what it's saying. Nothing else they did. So, the men work for Coca-Cola, it was structure. But Liberia is structure because people are corrupt. That's why they're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, but
Liberia is structure.
And I've always said this: Liberia, we got big problem, but Liberia, now, we don't need president who can rule. Okay, countries like America, you can take me here. You take me, carry me to America, you make me president. America will say run. Why? Because our system is set, is flowing. Okay, there are people that press important for things to happen. The figure here you see as Joe Biden is just the real president of America is there. I read a book called The Visible and Invisible Governments of America. All the people we can go stay online and implore, and vote for, they are just the political president. Right? But the real president of America is there. And that one that I own Disney, I can't go in there. Okay?
But Linford,
yeah.
Joe Biden today in office, when he wanted certain decision, they will tell him, say, no, you can't cross the line. He will not go there.
No.
Or only in Liberia, right?
I'll make the absolute power. Final thing. Okay. So there are quite different things that we look at and people do not know. They take everything to be the same. Now, you got a country where the president does not go to work. President sits at home, play music, dancing, playing basketball, going in the Invincible Park and lying down, enjoying himself. What if that company, Liberia was a company that you gave that president to be the manager? What will happen to that company? Because you will not even know who's signing paper today.
They were sacking the next day.
And that's why I even telling that gentleman, the same gentleman that was in argument with me, I told him, I said, no, the King Juice factory, and I always say when people laugh, the King Juice factory in Liberia won't go knock on or all the beer factory and thing. My friend, they work, even the gatekeeper to those places. They got better CV than the Liberian president because they go to work on time. They do stay home because they know if they stay home, they'll be fired. Okay? So you cannot come from government for 40 years. Okay, so send this old man so qualified, being government for, let him move from there, go look for a job, different place. They got NGO. Let him go there and carry government profile and say, I can look for a job and qualify. I've been government for 40 years. Let's see whether they'll give me a job.
So Linford, you brought something to my attention. You see, when you leave government, those that leave government, they go around giving speeches to different organizations.
Yes.
Because It's
your
the experience
expertise.
that they bring. You see.
Right.
So Ellen Johnson left government. Today she's in Dubai. Tomorrow she over there. She gave him. They calling her here and there to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Right. While they call Ellen, we got the VP who been there for 12 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was going around doing some Ellen work, right? People
Mm-hmm.
knows him. So why is it that this man, for some reason, with all the wise, it because they look for wise people to talk
Mm-hmm.
to audience with all of this wisdom that this guy have. They claim the people been putting on him. He have all the wisdom. Why is it he haven't been invited to one of those universities in the States or somewhere in Europe or somewhere
Don't go that far. Say Liberia.
or right in Nigeria or Sierra Leone or
No, your man
Guinea?
went in Nigeria. Your man went. You're right. Private jet in Nigeria.
But this is what I'm saying. He spoke to audience. So this is what people pick on your wiseness. They pick things from you. Look, yep. My president today, he traveling to America. He going to Dubai. Be going to America. And now we gotta be praying for him before the press bother with him and asking questions. And then we'll be praying, oh my God, he must say something better to better our country. This is the point. So the government experience in Liberia is only one good experience that you get from other government is the war, corruption in the white man war, but it's complete stealing. We call it tiffy roll. That's the experience you get for government in Liberia.
I will tell you all over the world, if you come from corporate background, business background, and you carry your CV to government, you'll be employed the very next day. But come from government and go to any corporate, the first thing they'll start asking, why did you leave government? Why, because they look at you like you. It's like I came from being a janitor, then I go look for a accounting job. They will say, but my man, yeah, of course. But why would we want to leave people who coming from accounting school to go employ a janitor who came from accounting job? I mean, who came to look for accounting job? So it's simple. But Paul, I think let's not waste our time. Let's move. We've expanded on this. I think it's a group of two people that are visiting. These are the anti-corruption people. Now, we've talked much about them, but I think we just need to conclude, give your closing statement. Why do you think this group is frequenting Liberia? Their boss was there a few months ago, and they themselves are there. So, I mean, do we expect another group coming soon, or what? Or are they finding things, or what's going on?
The thing is, USAID, they call themselves, they have been giving money to that country. It's almost like all the Western countries they send money to the underdeveloped countries. And America has been one of our major partners by helping. And every time they send money, they enter in Nathaniel gave probably his dead mother building that he built for her, or it enter somewhere in Africa Coast on a new building that is being pulled off from some poor guy who used to live in Zin House. Now he called himself minister. So the people money that they've been sending is now going to the people that are supposed to benefit from that money. So that's their concern. So they keep going around and find out how come this money we're sending for school, for hospital, and the people still they're not getting a free school, they're not getting a free hospital. Where the money going? So they are being nosy. They're doing facts finding. Where their money going? Up to today, if you say you go to JFK, if you get 10 out for registration for serious sickness, you die on the table. And those are the monies people been setting for all of those things, but they end on few people pockets. So the sanction they call it is on the table. We shouldn't be surprised that they pick up some big fish a few times and say, oh, these are another group of people to follow. And I think it will be good for the country too if they can pick up names now to help Liberians to make an informed decision to put these people off from stealing from us. Honestly.
Okay, and my closing on that would be like this. I can only hope that their visit will not be will not be in vain. And I know, let me tell you one thing. There's a lot of things about America that I don't like. I live in America for some time. There's a lot of things about that I don't like. But there's certain things that when America put their hand in, I'm out. I'm in there for it. Okay. I know America will not spend their money for nothing. By the way, those people are working. While they are in Liberia, they are working. They're not just visiting, they are working actively, like when they are on the grounds in America, they see where they get any money to go to work. That's what they're doing in Liberia. So America is not going to invest in those people, send them for I don't know how many days they will be in Liberia, pay their transportation, pay their hotel bill, their everything, only because they want to do that. I know there is something that Uncle Sam wants. There is something that they are after, and they must achieve it. One good thing I like about them, no matter how long it takes, they not they rush people in Liberians. They will take that time, no matter how long it took. We saw how Bin Laden with them were dancing here, running up and down. It took them a long time. When they got ready, when they really got it, they got the target and went for it. So no matter how these people have been clever for 5-6 years now going, they've been taking our money, building company. And the good thing about it is that there are physical proofs. There are physical proofs. These are they say. The physical proofs are there. How did Jefferson Kweji get all these houses? Findabondo selling kobo from way, should I be in Monrovia? She was selling way somewhere, Graduate or somewhere.
Sure, Ikawe Ken, River G.
Selling kobo there. So she was making all her money and keeping it. So you see, the physical proofs are there. And when these Americans get on their facts and lay on the table, it will be left with you now to come to defend it. Okay. So I hope their visit or their fact-finding mission will not get going in vain. And like I said, America will not spend money on the people and everything get going in vain, that something will happen. So we're looking forward to what will happen. And so that transitions us to the next topic, which is American himself, Mr. McCarthy. I'm sorry, I don't have a video. We don't have a video ready now, but everybody heard it. He said, paraphrasing what he said, that there are some people in the diaspora, some Liberian diaspora Liberians, that are saying or doing things to undermine the good efforts. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not saying what he said word for word. The good efforts of the WIA administration. And our good old friends from the CDC side, all the thing they met up, he started like that. He went, then he ended up with corruption. Talking about corruption, but they cut that small portion and they were running away. I said, my power follow the king. You listen to the American, I didn't even know that I spoke. Then that my sedition friend, he listened to the American ambassador speech. I said, but when the man spoke, I go look, and all of them are coming in my inbox. That's the same thing they send me. So then I took time to listen to the man. When I listened to him, he said a lot of things. He talked about corruption, but our sedition friends, they can't hear that one. The only one they can hear is, then they say, yo, get to show that you can be talking, that man talking to. So, that's why we decided to talk about this thing here. Let me tell you, and I don't know what Paul would say, but I would say, man, and regarding that particular topic, and I will talk directly to the American ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, you know what? Liberia is not a protectorate state. We are an independent country. And besides that, we got a long-standing relationship with America. Fine. And everything that happens to us, we go to America. We're fighting war, we're looking up to America to come and take guns from our own people that will get gun to. We want America to come disarm them. When we make small trouble, we go to America. Some people decide to demonstrate, they go to the American embassy. I safe to say America got the medicine for us. And I know from where you're talking, you ambassador, out of the frustration that our people like us, our country, we cannot handle our own things, small things come to America. So when you say some of these things, probably you are speaking out of frustration, but we can also tell you that our Constitution gives us the right to change our form of government. We can decide to do it violently, which is through military action. We can also decide to do it with civil disobedience, which includes sit-ins or protests of all kinds, as long as we are not violent. Okay? So for you to accuse a particular group of people, now listen, despite the fact that people live in the diaspora, they are still Liberians. They may be Americans. Some of us are Europeans, some of us are Americans, some of us are Germans, all kind of funny thing. Okay? But we are still Liberians. And when anything happens to us, it is our body politic. We have the right as well to participate in the process of fixing what is wrong with us. What about adding our voices or taking actions necessary? So if you will pinpoint to we diaspora Liberians, I'm including myself because I'm in the diaspora, that we are doing something to undermine it. No, listen, if the government is doing something to affect negatively our people, you think we will sit in the diaspora simply because we are diaspora Liberians and will not talk? Mr. Ambassador, I think you know, in as much as you people help us, you also got to know the frustration that we go through. Some of us do not want to live in your country, America, or in Europe, but it's the bad government in our country that makes us to go out. Mr. Ambassador, you got to know this, okay? If America was ungovernable, like how Africa is, or like how Liberia is, you poor, I mean, you McCarthy, you would have found somewhere good to go. So you can't be talking, we're not somebody's property. We may be living in your country, but we are not your property. We got feeling too. We got people that are dear to our heart in that country. So if the government that is supposed to be responsible for them is not doing the right thing, we got the right to talk. So you can't blame us. Okay, then go to the leaders or go to the power that be and tell them to do the right thing. And then you're not here Liberians talking. So let me stop here, Paul. I'll come back with more message for the ambassador.
Linford,
Yeah.
thank you. And this is funny though. You said something, say we are independent country, right? We are sovereign nation. I think we don't.
No, we are. I mean, on the paper,
No,
we are.
I mean, on paper, we are.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is that America, all places where they got people all over the place that they get a skinhead people, the racist people that can go after. Who is he to tell us what to do? The fact is, what his concern is, ambassador there, the money that is sent to the country, he want to talk about that money, how you seen people that he talking about eat the money, that's fine. But he cannot tell us what to do with our government.
Yeah.
In the same very America, they get a Coca-Cola. They get on their platform, send hate messaging. Does he speak on them? The fact is, we're in a diaspora, we have the right, we are Liberians to talk what is going on. But then the government have people here that, you remember this government radio station they call Radio Kigali, the Freedom FM? What did he don't talk about? About Ben sending hate messages. The government and propagandists in the West here, they don't go after the opposition, those that are against the government. So why is it that the people from the diaspora saying things over there? Why he couldn't call names?
Yeah, but I think he made a general statement. He said diaspora Liberian. So
But
the only part,
specifically America.
yeah, the only part where he made the little separation is when he said that diaspora Liberians are saying things to undermine the efforts or the good work that the government is doing. That comes directly to the opposition.
Exactly, but why he didn't talk about the other people that are sending hate messages, the government are sending hate messages too. So this is the point.
I think McCarthy was talking out of frustration. But that's why it's good for us to add our voices. Let me tell you, America, you Americans, you got one policy. If somebody goes after one of you, that person goes after all of you indirectly. So we in the diaspora, we didn't fall from the sky to come in the diaspora. We came from Liberia and we left people behind. And if we have bad government that is doing bad things to our people, the best we can do, instead of taking guns to go shoot all over the place, how other people have been doing, we can talk. Now we got an opportunity. I can sit here and tell my government, do this, you are not doing the right thing, do this and do this. Instead of taking guns to go in the bushes. No, we are not doing that. We are telling the government, do this. And if the government does bad, we expose it. And if the government does good, everybody will see it. Nobody needs to deny it.
Therefore,
Yeah.
What's this main intention?
Well, I think the press people at our press conference, when you were talking, should have asking what he tried to achieve by condemning or pointing accusing fingers at diaspora Liberians for undermining. No,
But then this come back again to haunt them. You remember when the Civil War started? Liberians ran to that very American embassy. What happened? They closed their gate on them, right? A lot of them were slaughtered. They see America that when Samuel Doe started collecting $1 from all when in school to pay American debt.
America debt.
You remember that story? We're paying back.
I have just started working at EFBC.
Right.
And I seen
We're in school at the time. We got to get $1 for our people to pay to help pay the
America
money
debt.
Yes. When Samuel Doe started going to Romania and other places, where became of Samuel Doe? Charles Taylor was free out of prison in America to go start revolution in Liberia. With the Toba, when he visited China, what happened? He was overthrown. So Liberians in the diaspora call for Doe to be removed from office in that very America where they came from. So we're in the diaspora. We won't go back to that dark days. Our government is doing something that we don't like. We have to voice it out. So he melting in our business. So when we needed them, where were they?
But Paul, don't even talk about me needing that. But he's supposed to. I think McCarthy sounded like somebody from the village who is not from America. In the first place, America is the beacon of democracy. Take it or leave it. They are posting. I said earlier on the show that they have portrayed themselves to be the world police. So they set examples that they want other people to follow, but they do not follow. You know, I was reading somewhere where they're talking about Tuesday evening. Somebody posted on Facebook that they're talking about they want to put into the war crime school. When America said no, none of that generals or any of their leaders can ever be taken to the war crime school. Then they want and the war crime school who supports them, America and other countries. They want to go take Putin to carry that one at that business. They say it's not difficult to circumcise a snake, but you will hold a head while the circumcising it, then you okay. But let me give this message to McCarthy. Ambassador McCarthy, your honor, your excellency. You come from America, for God's sake, you are an American citizen. In America, there's something called freedom of speech. And we got that same thing in Liberia. That's part we depend on you. But we still got our own freedom too. Donald Trump was president. They said all sorts of things about Donald Trump. They condemn him. They put a picture, they cartoon all over the world for Donald Trump. McCarthy, didn't you see that?
No.
Okay. McCarthy, Joe Biden is in power right now. They are writing all kinds of things about him. Have you read some, McCarthy? McCarthy, do you go on the internet and see what people say? Your own American citizen, we're not talking about outsiders. You probably outsider, you come and tell us in our country what to do, simply because we depend on your. But your own citizen, they condemn your president, they condemn your government. The fact that your government is even better than us, your people say condemn it. Do you read it? Then you come in to tell us what to say about our writing government that you yourself cannot even live. You live in Liberia, but you live in America, in Liberia, you McCarthy. You now go to sleep hungry. Nobody is coming to rob you. McCarthy, put yourself in our shoes. Put yourself in our shoes, Mr. Ambassador. When we're talking out of frustration because our leadership is bad. You cannot live as a typical Liberian for 1 week, you McCarthy. Or typical Liberian, they just take you and say, okay, can't go live on so anywhere or somewhere down the road. Don't be American, be ordinary Liberian for 1 week. You will not do it. You will not want to do it. But you want millions and millions of people to sit there and take in. We should be the shock absorber. We should absorb all the weight. We shouldn't talk. My friend, go find somewhere to go find other people to tell them nothing. Not us. Let me tell you, Liberian, we are Americans, default to Americans. So the same way you get freedom to talk, we can talk like that. You don't play with us. You taught us. You American, you didn't colonize us, but you found our land that we live on called America. So we cap it your way. We tell you the fact in your face. You like it, you don't like it. Thank you, brother. But that American system is in us. And we are proud to be that. That any little thing, we say America. Even those of us living in Europe, we say consider ourselves Americans. If I tell living here, that America won't live. So you have taught us the freedom of speech, and we will tell you if you say the wrong thing. Look, that is our country. You are American, you live in Liberia. If anything concerns America, it concerns you. The same way we live in the diaspora, but that's our country, something that affects our people, that affect us. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. We know you didn't mean to say what you said. But if you meant to say it, we are telling you our feelings too.
That ambassador, I think maybe he drinking juice. That was the only thing.
Yeah, but the boy in Liberia, maybe
yeah,
he tasted something.
He drinking juice because he.
And you know, he made that John, we are friends. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't say he drinking juice. Maybe he went to Jamaica Resort and got some parking juice from there. He came back
maybe and Georgia twin say, my man, blasting people small, man. They people giving me hard time. So blasting. So Mr. Ambassador will know you finish talking your own. We just talking our own. We believe in rule of law. You tell your own, we tell our own too. Yeah, equal, no parting. Mr. Ambassador, you Liberian man, I ain't Liberia. You tell your own, we talk our own.
Yeah, the man drinking you, me I need to drink my own king you too and give it to him. So because
I drink my own,
your own king you too.
Yeah. So the ambassador must know that whatever affects our people affect us in the diaspora. You see, like I told some of us, we don't want to live in a women country. Yeah. But because of the condition, the same way he would not want to go live West Point. So anyway, where? So, somewhere dual community. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
no,
I
want you to talk about this little banner here first, and then we can play something about Liberia deserves better. We need Mr. Cummings' presidency for better Liberia at this time.
Okay.
And you see, one of the things is, I want you to talk about this first before we talk a little bit about Mr. Cummings. This one, please tell what's going on here.
I live in Scandinavia, so in Scandinavia we have 3 countries: Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. Then we got the Nordic countries, which the 3 Scandinavian countries belong to. And the Nordic countries are Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland. So there are 5 countries, and out of the 5 countries, we form the Scandinavian part. And so Mr. Cummings is coming to the Nordic countries, meaning that he's coming to Sweden. So he's coming to part of the Nordic countries, and he's going to be here on the 14th of April, and today is the 17th. So we got less than 1 month. Mr. Cummings will be with us, and he's coming to talk to Liberians. So if you are a Liberian, you don't have to be a supporter of Mr. Cummings. You don't have to be a lover of, because in Liberia, everything that if you talk something bad or somebody say you hate a man, so you don't have to be a lover, because the opposite of hate is love. You don't have to be somebody who loves Mr. Cummings before you come. You don't have to be supporting Mr. Cummings before you come. But if you love your country, Liberia, come and hear what Mr. Cummings will have to say. They say you can't refuse a call, but refuse what is in or what is behind the call. So Mr. Cummings is coming, and he'll be talking to Liberians, and he will be here for 2 days. He will come Friday evening. Saturday will be the grand program, and then Sunday everybody will be leaving. So he's coming to talk to Liberia. So come, if you can come, and ask him all of your difficult questions, because this is somebody who wants to lead your country. This is a man who wants to lead your country. Come and ask him. You are the employer. Come and interview him. Say why you think we should elect you. So he will be available. And I can assure you one thing. I have come face to face with Mr. Cummings, and that was last July. We were together. We sat together. We talked for more than 30 minutes. He and I one-on-one, we talk. So I know that he's not a difficult man to deal with. And sometimes you will try to pick his muscle. You will not talk. You answer, yeah. And it's soft like that. So he's a very easy man to go around. So if you have the opportunity, spend your weekend with us starting from the 14th, 15th, and 16th of April. That's less than 1 month from now. You can come. The Liberians will be there. There are a lot of Liberians in Sweden, so you might just be meeting new people too. So, Paul, that's much about it. And I think in the coming weeks now, we'll begin to tell them what the details of the program, what it will be like, the fees and stuff like that. But it's affordable. It's not expensive. It's just the fact that you come in somewhere and you know you should be prepared financially to come, and there will be food, there will be drinks and stuff like that, so you can have some.
It's actually free entrance.
Yeah, free
Drinks,
entrance,
food will be free as
free.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, so people can buy their drinks
I
and
think only
then
the drinks will be able to buy.
yeah, interact with Mr. Cummings. Instead of 3 days, I think he will be with us in Sweden for 4 days. So
Oh, okay.
the first day will be meet and greet. So Liberians from the Scandinavia can have that one-on-one session with him. And I just want to show something what he did with the guys in Germany,
In
intern
Germany,
over
yeah.
Germany. That Mr. Cummings had breakfast with the group over there. So
I missed
this
that breakfast.
it's just about a mini clip. Look at this.
We're having a breakfast here, right here in Hanover. Just starting now, got a family of ANC here. All the members are here. Want to start having breakfast. The boss himself is here. These are the delegation from Holland. The guy Wida is here. Wida, say hi to us. Yeah, Wida, what's your name again? The lady on the right. May is here from Holland. That's Nicholas Doe. No relation to Samuel Doe. No. That's they all came from Holland to be part of this event. We will have our sister. You got it, but
I said you want to do it before too.
the boss himself is helping himself in the morning. Nobody helps him, so he helps himself. So you see a live right here in Hanover, guys. Come and join wherever you are. We're having the event going on tonight. Everything is going to happen tonight. So join us. Yeah.
So those who in the Scandinavia, this is where they'll be having lunch, breakfast, and dinner with Mr. Cummings. So
I missed that. I missed that breakfast. People are calling me. Our different place. I'm finding my way. But it was fun in Hanover. So, but I think it's going to be even more fun in the Scandinavia. And let me tell you, we have this behavior. We are Vikings, so we are real people. The Vikings, we are real people. So come and see. And I understand there will be visitation to certain areas, and so you can see somebody probably will take you to the Viking ship, and then you will drink in the cow home, a particular type of drink. The first time I had that drink, I wanted to go back, but there were a lot of mosquitoes over the water, my man. But it's going to be fun. You can come. So Paul, flow.
yeah, so it's going to be exciting. There will be a sightseeing because what the team is planning, they have, in Liberia, if you go to Monrovia today, the place is so dirty with pile of garbage. And in Sweden, they have the largest how they call recycling plant. So the team over there want to take Mr. Cummings to the recycling plant over there because what happened, you see the garbage in Liberia, you can turn that garbage into electricity. We call it biomass. It's generate energy, and the way they put do it so he can actually see it for himself. So when he take on the leadership of our country, he should be looking into that direction. We need electricity in Liberia because he talked about infrastructure, and infrastructure is all part of that. Why? Because infrastructure also bring jobs. So if you have a manufacturer plan where we can do recycling, that a lot of young people will be employed doing this thing. So the intent is to take into that side and see the way it's set up. And those are the things. And then so I guess he arrived on Thursday. They also arranging for him to meet with the Swedish parliament. So those are things that they're planning to do. So all what I'm saying is all in a pipeline, and then so he might be with us for 4 days instead of 3.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
Liberians in the Scandinavian can have good time with him, get to know him, and then they can make up their mind who is this person. When you in his mix, I can tell you, you leave from there, you have different thought. What the propaganda?
Do you remember during the football game in Hanover where we have ANC supporters or plain CDC supporters?
Oh yeah, it was fun.
At the end of the game, all the CDC picking again, they say, well, Pave, we here, they want, and I was like, what? And they all up, in fact, when the CDC school, they got the give when we school, the school. So when the CDC school, they will can celebrate with him, they will hugging. So I said, well, I think you also will have one CDC man. So it was fun. It was, I mean, look,
But
we are Liberian.
the beauty of that, you know, the guy that was driving your guys in the bus, Dr. Rahim, he's a big clinician.
Yeah.
He was with Mr. Cummings
Coming from start all the way to finish.
Yes, until he left. So this people need to meet him and see this guy and stop, because in Liberia, I say one thing we don't like successful people. For some reason, we don't like people that have made it. And if the other country, look, we got for brother George Weah. The Ghanaians claim he's from Ghana. Because for Ghanaians, every good thing in Africa is part of them. But in Liberia, when we get a best of best.
You see, Paul, I mean, thank you. I'm not cutting you, but I don't want to forget a point. That's why I just jumping in. Okay, if we can celebrate our own Liberian footballer, George Weah, that we all love when you're on the football field, we're celebrating so much to the point where we can even award in the presidency. Yes. Why can't we celebrate another man who went and performed equally like George Weah in another area, another separate area, which is even more important to the livelihood of all of our citizens? Because when they met the success that he took to the corporate world, and he brings that success to us as a country, we all will benefit. George Weah made us proud on the football field, but how many of us got football boots on our feet? Okay?
Yeah, but, so you see, Liberian, right. And what I say, this is everybody have that area.
Yes.
And this main area is job creation. And he's telling us Liberian, jobs is the key here. Job creation for a lot of young people. People are beggars in Liberia. I'll create jobs. He laid it out, the 5 pillars, how he will run Liberia. The thing is simple. What are people listening or they not listening? That is the question. And you hear the government going on with their propaganda. Oh, these people, the only way they can win election, they must be united. What sort of government that will run propaganda to see who they want to run against? And
yeah. Okay, you are ruling party. The opposition fighting to take you off.
Yeah.
Then you telling them, oh, the only way you can win when you come together.
Yeah. You see, what I'm going to say, I know some people will not like me for this, but God really don't let ugly people. That's Stanton Witherspoon. He was one of the main person behind this nonsense that, oh, it have to be opposition unity. And that other deceiver guy called Ben Savage on Spoon Talk, they were running with the propaganda that sank into a lot of people's heads. That opposition. Hey, John, we are performing so badly. What opposition have to do with, coming together, will have to do with removing John Weah. So this is just simple matter. 3 million Liberians did not vote in the last election. So if the people feel that this government is so good, yeah, they vote the government in. If they feel that the government is so bad, what they can do? They vote the opposition in. If you let the old man who can't walk today, he go for another pacemaker to be replaced, vote for him. If you think that one is okay, vote for him. If Cummings the best, vote for him. If that 3 million people turn out to register and vote, we will have a good Liberia. They will choose the right person. But there's nonsense about opposition unity. The only way we can move this man. The man performing badly, remove him. Man, the thing is just, it pains me sometimes to listen to some nonsense.
I think our time is fast spent. Don't listen to those people. Let me tell you. No, some people, wow, vote. Look, vote that's something. That when you get in that booth, 1,000 things can come in your mind, especially when you look at the situation. So most of the people that even dancing around here for other parties, when they enter that booth, something will get twist their mind and say, no, I got to make a decision. And the moment I don't know whether it will be checking or crossing, the moment you crossing it, cross it, or you put your finger and finish. So things will happen.
Lincoln, what you see, the power of the mic. You've been in radio land for many years, and you know the microphone you guys sit behind, it have power.
Very powerful.
Remember one time, and I got upset. Say the fourth estate was bought, and y'all came say no. The reason why I said that it was simple because the power behind that microphone that they have, and in Liberia, they're not utilizing that power. Now they want people to go in classroom to learn civics. It's not happening. But you could tell people, say, well, if somebody bring you $1, eat that person money that your money and think wisely. And this is where you should look for to vote people. Where are they seeing what will benefit you? None of them doing it. They're not telling the people, you gotta tell say go vote for John or go for Paul. But tell the people to give them that informed decision how to vote. They're not doing it. And that's why if you hear people in Liberia today, when you ask them, say, me, I don't know what side to go now, confused. Because the propagandists confuse them more. And that's why I've seen the fourth estate, the power they have. This is about the time that they utilize that power. But then, equally so, if they are bought, how would they utilize that power?
Yeah,
And
because
this,
I mean, look at the prevailing situation on the ground
yeah,
where people, journalists, of course,
yeah, exactly.
journalists who don't get rich. I mean, if you want to be a rich man in your life, don't choose a profession, journalism, because you know you make kings, you make presidents, but you stay almost be at the scene. We get a farmer, the farmer will make a farm and feed all, we get fat, but they're
Yeah,
working hard, we get eating and getting fat, you know. So we know what we can do, but again, when you don't operate in a enabling environment, you become compromised, and it's all about the bread and butter issue. You wake up
exactly.
in the morning, you don't have the first transportation to go. Like let me just share a short story. When I was in Liberia, sometimes it would be tough so much. We woke up in the morning, you got to go on Broad Street because there were everything happening. So you got the first thing. So then what you do is a lot of time we have no cell phone. So you find how you get to the office, then you take a phone, you call one minister, say, Mr. Minister, but I see you last week. You can don't tell him, but he broke, so he come in find way. Say, my man, Mr. Minister, I see you last week. What happened? You forget about me? Oh no, my man, I don't forget about you. But what are you doing today? And I got nothing. Okay, my man, but don't be lunchtime. So that kind of minister, if anything happens, you know, because they say you can't point a hand that feeds you. So now you gotta be. You say, my man, be. Let
But
me,
but 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 Linford, before you conclude on that, the thing I'm saying, you don't have to go after anyone, no, but you can say it in a way,
yeah, in a
educate the
way that
people.
I
Yeah,
understand you can sell the information generally, you know, to the public, and you know you can achieve it. I remember this guy. I understand he died April 6th. It's Madison William, something like Madison. He used to work at the finance ministry, and he was very anti-Taylor. So he called a press conference, and my friend, the late Bobby Tyson, called me and said, "My man, something going on. Come quick." I jumped on the first taxi from Congress Street on Broad Street to the news office. He said, "I'll go." My first time seeing the man, so when we went, the guy, that Taylor man, I will deal with him today. Y'all see, that man, I fully man, he started talking all the bad thing about Taylor. So I just said that. Then Bobby was pinching me and said, "Get away." So the guy who was his press secretary, time for the press conference to start now, then he started introducing all the journalists. He said, "Oh, these all men from this, they all men from this." Then into me, he said, "They all men from Kiss FM." Oh, and then guy said, "Oh, my man, but wait, you here? My man." So you see, we can make things happen, and actually it's true. It all the media. If we put ourselves in a position that we're supposed to be in, we can influence a lot of things. And just my presence alone, you know, dissolved that whole press conference. I mean, the press conference still went on, but the way the guy was thinking, he didn't do it and that, and then he, you know, yeah, he had a press conference, but simply because he thought that he say anything bad, you know. But the thing is, we in the media, we got power, but sometimes we compromise ourselves. I agree. Not that you sell yourself totally, but everybody got friends. Paul, I mean, in any situation, everybody got
yeah.
friends. Yeah, so we in the media, in as much as the Chovia government is bad, most of the guys in the media, they stay friendly with people there. So again, That's it. But I think our time is fast spent, and
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to take us home, and
Well, well, let's say thanks to our viewers that been with us. It's great that you always with us.
Mhm.
And for we have our 24/7 online radio. It's called the Bottle Line. You can download the app and then you have it. We also on Mind Tuning. It's 24/7. Follow us. We're on Twitter. We're also on Instagram, and then we pretty soon will be on TikTok. And the big one is Mama Liberia, how we're going to make the case for Mr. Cummings over there, door to door, and also on air. And this time around, Liberia should think better to put in the right pricing. So, yeah, so I wanted to take us home with just a short message from Mr. Cummings, what he will do. Liberia deserves better. So, before anything,
Oh no, I think you said it all. You see, we've waited for this 2023 for so long, and it's here.
yeah,
So we got to make the best use of it, and the best use you can make. And I just want to urge our citizens in Liberia, you got to vote. Those of you on the ground, you got to vote. Some of us, we might be there, and some of us, we may not be there. But if I am not there, I got brothers, sisters, and everybody else, and you can go and represent me through your vote. Go and vote, because that's the only power you get. If you miss your vote, if you sit there and say I'm not voting, some crazy people will go and vote, and whatever decision they will make, it will affect you.
yeah.
So think twice, look at your own condition 5 years back and 5 years after, whether you have improved or whether you are gone further behind, and make the right decision at the ballot box. Nobody will be there in that box with you. Once you register to vote, the day of voting, you don't go inside there, they put a paper in front of you, you select who you want. Nobody will be there say vote for Trump. So you got to make up your mind. Thank you.
Okay. On that note, I'll say good night to our viewers. It's good that you all with us and encourage your people to register to vote. The window of registration is very short. I know our people tend to play lazy to wake up to go and register. It's important. So I'll leave this short message from the great man, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings.